Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with
Jessica Lee.
woohoo, my wifey, my pook star, my everything. And tonight we're going to talk about energy, playing with energy, getting centered within, being able to change your field, change the field of those around you, create a powerful energy Taurus around you. And I'm not talking about the old school Ford car. To be able to shift your energy and everything in your life. So I am so excited for today's talk. We are going to have a lot of fun. I wanted to see, I don't think there was anything that you wanted me to share beforehand. I know we've got our manifestation mastery circle, which is each Wednesday night. And this month, you can learn from Wallace Wattles on the secret or the science of getting rich, which is really, really cool. And we've had one course so far. I believe people are really enjoying it. I am really enjoying it. And we end up channeling a master 4 times a month. This month, I've been discussing with Wallace Wattles, which has been surprising, to say the least.
In what way?
He is really talking quantum physics, bringing quantum physics to manifestation almost 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he had different terminology, but it fits in perfectly with today. And I'm going, how did he know that? How did he know this? How did he know this other? It just doesn't add up unless we're all plugging into this same field. And he was plugged in. And so he was sharing about how we can use what we call the field, this formless substance that is everything. You can call it love, you can call it energy, you can call it anything you want, but how you can mold that and therefore shape your life in any way. We think of ourselves as being physical beings. And he's really been challenging me and challenging on us. And that's where I'm actually learning quite a bit as just how much we aren't, we all know the term spiritual beings having a human existence. Mm-hmm. Wallace Wattles and others like Carolyn Corey, who I had on the show this week, would say no, and actually hear in my head, nay, which must be coming from Wallace Wattles. No, we are not just spiritual beings having a human existence. We are energetic beings having a human existence. That changes everything because between you and me and between you and me, there are a lot of people who go, I'm spiritual, and end up living in the clouds and not actually getting things done in this lifetime and feeling pretty miserable because we are here for one purpose. And we can say that's to learn, but really it is expansion. Mm-hmm. Expansion of our souls, expansion of who and what we are, expansion of humanity, expansion of the cosmos, expansion of the universe. And when we don't feel ourselves expanding, we feel stuck, we feel miserable. And I think the technical term is, and for any little kids out there, you can put your hands over your ears, pissed off like a mofo. Because we have energy going through us and we don't know what to do with it. And so
I have questions, but I should hold them until after the lesson.
No. Let us. The name on the front and rear of our RV that we're moving into in a few weeks is momentum. So let's run with that momentum. So what are your questions?
Well, number one, I'm really hot. Do you mind if I turn on the air?
No, go for it.
Okay, I'll do that after I ask my question, which was
and you are a hottie, I must say.
Okay. Thank you. As if I wasn't read enough already. You were saying that if we're not expanding, then we feel stuck. Mm-hmm. But people often talk, like me, talk about the joy of just being, of just sitting and either meditating or just being on the couch, not necessarily meditating.
That is an extremely valuable piece. And what you're asking is brilliant. Where I'm saying is that it is, to quote Amit Goswami, we are here to doobie-doobie-doo. which means that we have our sit time, we have our go inward time, and that's what we're talking about tonight with Inner Alchemy. And then we get to be artists of the world. However we want to create, but we each came here with a soul path or purpose. That doesn't mean there's one thing that we get to get done or need to get done. There's nothing you need to get done. This is a hologram. There's no, while it matters what you do, it's not one particular thing. However, you know that there's a wellspring inside of you of energy that says, purpose, path, what is it? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What do I want to create? And if you simply sit on that, you feel miserable. And if people sit on that too long, that energy stagnates inside of them like an old pond that is kind of getting funky toward the end of the summertime. And that is stagnant chi. It's a real thing. And we get dis-ease. We get to either create in our lives, or I don't even know a good way to put it. It's as if the cells go on a creative process that we do not desire, for instance. And so we are each here to create in our own way. And that is such a beautiful thing. And I'm not sure how to bring that back to Wallace Wattles, where I was going with that now. Yes. What I was saying is, we are energetic beings having a physical existence. And sometimes we get confused and think, I'm a spiritual being. And we lose that disconnect with Earth. And the importance of the connection to Earth is that we are incarnate. We are in these human forms. Angels, for instance, which is just another term for energetic beings. We'll call them amazing, energetic, helpful beings, are not in physical form. They cannot create here. We chose to come here to create. And I feel if we just say, I'm spiritual, I'm not here to create, I'm not here to attract money, I'm not here for this, I'm not here for that, we miss the big picture. And we miss the opportunity to learn and grow and expand. Was there a second question, or was that the air conditioning was the second question?
Yes, I'm going to go turn that on.
All right. So Jessica is going to make a sprint. And that is, oh, no, you got rid of the felt one. So that is not your worst favorite sound. So bear with us. I would start into the next piece, but I will be distracted by her beauty as she comes and sits back down. All you need to do is turn it on. What happened there? I happened. I won't even ask what that means until afterwards. All right. Any other questions on that before we dive into things? So I guess going back to Wallace Wattles and the science of getting rich, I am learning so much from him. I channel him before each class, then we discuss it, and people here can share in the Manifestation Mastery Circle how much they're liking it, how much it's changing their lives, because we channeled Napoleon Hill for a month, Neville Goddard for a month, Flora Scovel Shin for a month, and you actually, if you sign up, you get each of those collections with this month's class for only $7. It's kind of crazy beautiful. And then it's a $28 subscription, cancel anytime, but that's beside the point. But what he's teaching about is how we can take this energy and mold it into manifestation and mold it into whatever we desire. So with that said, I'm going to go on a bike ride. Or more specifically, I went on a bike ride earlier today. And typically each Sunday, I go on an epic adventure. And so this Sunday, I guess today, I rode up toward Big Bear, California, from Joshua Tree, from the low desert, up to about 7,500 feet, exploring, checking out new trails, huge headwind, massive climbs. And so what I started doing is running energy through myself. We think, well, I need to bring food with me. I need to bring water with me. I need to be well rested. Actually, for life, what we get to learn how to do is run energy through ourselves. When we begin to take control of our energy. And so for my bike ride, I did that, and I actually finished, and I looked at a chart of my performance. I downloaded my Garmin afterwards, and I was strongest at the end. And that was a near 4-hour bike ride. And I ate and drank nothing on it. but I was continuously running and playing with energy. And I have 3 techniques. If we have the time, I'm going to teach you 3 energy techniques tonight. So you're going to want to stick around for those. And then we are going to do an energy meditation toward the end. It's going to be kind of fun. So we do like lots of work around law of attraction, around meditation, manifestation. But if we don't choose our internal energy, it doesn't work. In fact, the term that Jessica used to use about my energy years ago, I don't know if you're familiar with where I'm going to go.
You mean when I called you the Tasmanian devil?
Well, but this right there is what you said I was doing.
Oh, yeah. Barfing out energy everywhere.
And if you are barfing out energy everywhere, picture like having, I don't know, a golden light in a sack, and you're trying to keep that golden light in there, but there are all these pinprick holes and they're coming out. There's leaks of energy everywhere. Mm-hmm. When your energy is leaking, you find you rarely get done what you want to get done, and you create
the Tasmanian devil,
also known as chaos all around you. Your energy is leaking. You don't know how to play with your energy or even become aware of your energy. I know there's something that you wanted to add here. And so the first step in really becoming what I call an inner tai chi master, or we had a teacher on Maui by the name of Shen, and he would call it, in fact, we're going to teach one of his exercises here tonight. He would call it inner kung fu. I love that. And inner kung fu or inner tai chi is becoming aware of your energy on the inside, taking control of that, which changes everything on the outside. Even saying that, on the outside. And what you can't see me doing is I'm going in the outside. And what I am doing is literally with my hands, with my voice, internally taking note of the energy and shifting it and bringing it down and grounding it. And just even the act of saying it, I am shifting and grounding you. That's the thing. They say, the person, oh gosh, this was a bumper sticker from the 80s or when I went to college. He who dies with the most toys wins. Seems a little bit crazy now, doesn't it? And it's he or she who understands energy best who wins, who becomes the greatest tuning fork in the room, the greatest tugboat. We had an amazing meditation teacher on Maui by the name of Claudio. Did that dude know energy?
He didn't speak in terms of energy.
What happened when he came in the room?
He became the tugboat.
And all of us went, boom. Because he was did you ever see Claudio spin?
No.
Could you ever imagine Claudio spinning?
Nope.
He mastered energy. And so what happens as you begin to master energy is you change the field that you are awash in, and you affect the field around you of others as well. You want to talk about a manifestation tool. When you can hold centered, you begin to attract to you what you desire. Why? This is going to sound a little strange, but what you desire already wants you. You're just acting as a repellent. You're confused, you're delirious, your subconscious has gone completely awry, your inner Tasmanian devil has gotten going, and that which the universe wants to bring you is repelled by your energy until you can stop, until you can pause, until you can be open to receive. And so it's very easy, in a sense, for your magnet to reverse polarity and repel, but also once you become aware of energy, to flip it back again and to attract. So what we first want to do.
I have a question. You said what
goody.
you want
Yes.
already wants you.
Yes.
So do you even need to attract it? Is the work simply removing all the...
That is a key component. It becomes important to get clear, because if you attract everything, that might be a bit much. So it gets to become clear. It's a co-creation with the universe. But universe wants to give you everything that you want, and it's already waiting to give it to you. But we have to clear, let's use a Buddhist term here, the obscurations.
Okay.
The blockages in our path. Your innate goodness, your innate wisdom, your innate riches, your innate happiness, by definition, innate, it is already there. But we have so many energetic blocks that we cannot receive it or feel it even when it's here.
So I'm not sure you answered the question. Does it actually want me, or...
Yes. When you feel the tug at your heart, saying, I want this RV, I want to travel, I want this freedom. Where did that come from?
I don't think of it as coming from it, but I do think of it as some higher source that is planted the seed.
I will agree with that, which means that it's already out there waiting for you.
Okay.
And you simply have to get out of the way of the blockages. Now, we can call that manifestation, we can call that attraction, or we can simply say it is learning how to control our energy and sidestep the blocks.
So in essence, we've already attracted it by having the inception of the desire in the first place. And the universe already knows that. So then we're just going about removing the obscurations, the blockages, the ways in which we repel what we've already announced or declared in some way that we want this.
Yes, that's why when people, and I'm sure people will be asking tonight, how do I know, is it my ego that's wanting this? Or is it my higher self? When you feel into this and you say, where does this come from? And it becomes clear it wasn't coming from your thinking mind, then that's it. That's the gift that's already waiting for you. And it has nothing to do with ego. So you could be saying, but I want this RV. I want this RV. And if you said, but where's that come from? I don't know. It's just a tug at my heart. I just feel it so strongly. That's not ego. The RV is actually waiting for you once you get out of the way. Kind of flips everything on its head. I know there's more in there.
There is, but I don't want to keep people from getting to the next step. Or
go for it, my love.
Well, you and I were having, and I guess type in the chat if you just want us to move on, if this conversation isn't interesting to you. I'll just make sure that I'm up to date on the chat.
You look up to date, and there are lots of bouquets of flowers tonight.
Yesterday, we were having a conversation about how much of our desires are actually influenced by what society has programmed into us. Like you were talking about Porsches.
Yeah.
And what's the big deal?
Absolutely. And so what you're saying is, how do we know if that is from our higher self or not? Lean into it, feel into it. It's not a universe that's saying you can't have the Porsche. And some people may be aghast, but being a spiritual being doesn't mean you can't have a Porsche. I have had a Porsche. My Porsche was fun. My Porsche was a lot of fun. I like Tessie more. I guiltily actually like the truck that's pulling the RV almost even more, which is just so wrong. It must be right. But just because it is a societal desire does not mean it is not there waiting for you. But what you get to ask, what you get to do is peel away the wrapper. Why is this attraction really here? And that's a key piece that Wallace Wattles is talking about, is he's talking about the awakened human. So the awakened human feels into everything and asks, why is that here? So it does seem really cool to travel around with an RV now. We could ask, is that a societal thing? We lean into it, and I would say, certainly not. Actually, I think it would be easier. Maybe in many ways if we didn't. But I feel it so strongly. It was the Tesla, for instance, was something that I have wanted since before there was a Tesla. Back when I was driving electric golf carts as a kid. Is that planted upon me? On some level, I remember watching Tom Cruise in Risky Business and watching him dunk his dad's Porsche 928S into the water. And I recognized when I got my 924S, kind of the baby brother of it, I recognized that, oh, wow, you're kind of living out a childhood risky business dream. You better go get your Ray-Bans. And I said, yeah, but that's okay. I feel that pull on my heart. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel great. I don't care about showing off to anybody, even with a bright yellow Ferrari, a bright yellow Tesla.
Coming next.
I used to say I was going to have, I would think it was from a BMW to a Porsche to a Ferrari or something like that. And I stopped actually at the Porsche. Actually, technically, I got a Maserati thing. We'll call it a thing. Okay. It was a Maserati, but it was a kind of a Lee Iacocca creation. But I did call my motorcycle that you never met, I called her my little Ferrari because she was as fast as a Ferrari. But if I lean into that and say, why do you want the Ferrari? That is a societal thing. And I can recognize the difference. It does not fit. The Tesla is every bit as fast. In fact, there are faster Teslas that are faster than even the fastest Ferrari. But the Tesla is as fast, but it fits, it resonates. Going back to energy, if I plug in the Tesla inside of me, peace. If I plug in the Ferrari, I'll stop there, does not resonate. So point number one that we're talking about, and you can keep going, but point number one is we get to plug things in or simply plug our lives into an energy awareness mechanism and say, how does this feel? The feeling state trumps the thinking mind every day of the week. More to add?
No, I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
All right. So,
and by the way, I have no idea what he's planned in today's lesson. So what you're hearing from him, I'm hearing for the first time too. Yeah. And so these questions are actually real.
Yeah, this isn't like drawn up shtick where we've been practicing this banter back. We do practice this banter. It's called life.
Sometimes they're called spirited debates.
Oh, yeah. Where's my white flag of surrender? All right. So the first thing that we get to do is become aware of this energy. And you get to feel this energy inside of you. In fact, you can do this right now. So, for instance, you were talking about me being a Tasmanian devil, which is very interesting. Because I look at feeling energy inside of you as moving two directions. You can either feel it going up and out and down, around, up and out and down, around, or as a spinning sensation in you. Technically, it could be a ball moving in all directions. But when I am acting like a Tasmanian devil, there is this ball inside of me that is spinning all directions and is just a chaotic mess. And so one thing you can do is you can literally pause in the moment You can do this with me and just take a deep breath.
Should my eyes be closed?
I'd like it. Eyes closed, in and out through the nose.
Okay.
And see if you feel any energy inside of you. Is it moving up and out, down and around? Or is it a ball? And ask yourself, what is the sensation? Is it smooth and regular? Is it sharp and chaotic? Is it tightly compact and organized? Or feel like it's going out everywhere? So you get to play with this in a sense, and you can open your eyes now. But each day is a great time, in fact, before each conversation or when you start the day, to feel into your energy and say, what is this doing now? And I think oftentimes, rather than having, I can imagine a sun at our heart. And the sun is spinning, and it's very smooth, and it's very regular, and it has its own heartbeat, as does our heart. And that is an attractor of all goodness. But I can picture our suns being wild and chaotic and having black spots and even having sharp edges or daggers. And we can actually visualize. And when you feel that, start to imagine it being more of a sun. And so you can actually practice going from that barfy thing spinning inside of you and imagine it becoming a tighter and tighter glowing ball. One way you could do that is if you've ever seen anybody work on a spinning wheel pottery. You can imagine inside of you that this energy is spinning all around, but it's rough around the edges. And you kind of put your hands all around it and smooth that energy ball into what you desire. And there's actually more realness to playing with this energy than the reality all around us, because your thoughts are energy. And so when you think about molding energy, you are quite literally molding energy.
I have questions.
All right. And then we're going to see if we can get into a couple more exercises.
How many are there?
There are 3 total.
Okay, so this is the first one.
This is the first one.
Okay.
Go for it.
It's clarification.
Yes.
So if that energy is feeling chaotic, you're advising people to bring the energy into a smaller space?
So that we can control it. We can learn, once we learn how to control that energy, we can expand it out to fill a room. You can expand it out to fill a town.
Okay, that's important.
But right now, when your energy is chaotic, I want you to draw it in, to take control of it. It's as if you have a giant parachute that's blowing in the wind and is all out all over the place. Or a sail. I need to take that in and get it tight into a small package before I then introduce it to the wind. And so I want to draw that in. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to play with it. In fact, what happens kind of exceeds the scope of tonight, but you can practice expanding and contracting. And we're going to do a little bit of an exercise like that. This is particularly important if you're an empath or if you are what we will label, and I'm not a big label guy, introverted, which is we get to learn how to protect our energy. And so what happens, particularly for empaths, is their energy is out everywhere, feeling everything. Yesterday at the outlet stores with you, when I went into the Blaze Pizza the first time, and I said, I am out of here. What did I do? I am out of here. I went into a Blaze Pizza shop yesterday. My blood sugar was, I wouldn't define it as low, but I needed food. And I went in there and my energy was too far out. And I felt everyone and everything and I needed to get out of there. And you're going, well, how are we going to go clothing shopping then if you're not in a good place energetically? I'm like, I've got this. We went into, we're going to call it your favorite clothing store right now. I don't even have to, I'm not sponsored to pay. I don't even have to mention who they are, but it's nice, bright and airy. And the room that we're in is very spacious with very few people in there.
Mhm.
And what I did is I sat down on a nice, hopefully pleather couch,
Uh-huh.
and I started running energy. And I just started feeling better and better. And I took control of my energy. And then once I had gotten a nice tight ball,
Mhm.
then I started expanding my energy out to affect everyone in the room around me.
Mhm.
And so each time you came out of the changing room, you're probably like, well, he's actually doing better. He's feeling better and better. And then later I had that energy solidified inside of me so I could go into that, what felt like before a crazy blaze pizza place, which now felt actually really calm because it wasn't about the external environment.
Mhm.
It was my internal environment.
Cool.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to play with an energy ball. Because if we can play with it externally, it helps us to be able to play with it internally. You look like you're going to say something.
No,
Okay.
I'm just
Taking it all in. And so what we're going to do is a Qigong exercise where we are going to practice kneading dough or kneading a ball of energy. And I don't mean kneading like I need, but I mean kneading like to knead dough, or as a kitty with his or her claws will knead on your favorite jeans or blouse or shirt or skin for that matter, which Jessica calls making muffins. And so we are going to make muffins with energy. How's that sound?
like this.
Kind of, sort of. What we're going to do is we're going to actually, and I got to figure out how I'm doing this with you. I think you're good there. No. Don't move anywhere. No way.
The Buddha can hold space.
No, it's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to imagine that we have a nice little ball of energy here. You can actually feel the ball. You can move your hands around. And we're going to practice this in a minute, but you can imagine that you have a ball in your hands. And I want you to move your hands back and forth to be able to hold this ball. You might start to feel a little tingling. You might start to feel a little resistance in there as you're playing with this little ball of energy. And what we are going to do is inhale and stretch that energy out. Exhale, squeeze that energy, tighten that energy in. Inhale, expand that ball out. I mean, my arms could go out wider, but I do have the Pook Star here. Flip your hands. Squeeze that energy in. Can you feel that resistance as the ball gets there? Your hands start to feel a little bouncy, a little buzzy. Inhale in through the nose. Expand that energy ball out. And in. Exhale. Squeeze. Feel that ball of energy. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Expand that energy out. And exhale. Squeeze. You're going to feel resistance. The ball may be getting bigger and it may be harder to get your hands closer together. And your fingertips are totally tingling. Your palms may be buzzing or sweating. And inhale. And exhale. Squeeze that ball. You're going to probably feel a lot of resistance. Your arms may even start to be shaking. We'll do this a few more times. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze that ball of energy. Inhale. Take in all the energy you can. It's like you're scooping it all up. You're expanding it out. And exhale. Squeeze that energy. Last time. Inhale. Scoop up all that energy you can. Make that ball super big. And exhale. Press that ball together. And then at the very end, take it into your heart. Inhale. Draw that energy into your heart. And exhale. Relax. One more time. In and out. How do you feel now? How are your hands? Mine got totally red hands. So they're totally buzzy now. While we're playing with energy on the outside, you can do this on the inside too. I remember a dentist visit years ago where they said, "Why do you look so peaceful?"
Were they disturbed?
And I'm like going, yeah, da, 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 but I'm doing it on the inside.
Uh-huh.
And I'm playing with that energy.
When you say doing it on the inside, you're visualizing this?
Exactly. Visualizing it in my heart space. So not off to the side, but here in the center. And I'm expanding my energy and bringing it back in and tightening it and expanding it and bringing it back in.
Are you visualizing your hands?
Yeah. So I'm visualizing it inside of myself. And I love this motion because to me, this is the feeling of holding a ball. And it is definitely a tai chi move. I am no tai chi. Forget about master. I'm not even a tai chi white belt. But as far as internal tai chi, I've been doing a lot of work of visualizing. And really what we're doing is not so much the technique that's most important. It is the awareness that you can expand and contract and control that energy so that you can start to use it like a dial. Do I need to bring that energy in? Well, she's really scary. Draw the energy in, contract it, get really solid in myself. Or it feels really safe, or I want to change the energy around here. Expand, expand, expand out, sending all the love out that I can. When I do this, I am expanding that ball so big. The reason that you feel so good is that, and the sniff isn't about that, it's about I'm about to sneeze. The reason you feel so good is I've expanded that energy outward to everybody here tonight that can feel it. But at the end, I will then draw that energy back into myself so that I'm not feeling drained through the night. And it becomes very important to be able to navigate this human existence. It becomes so important to recognize what's going on with my energy here and now, or else you can go. I actually enjoy the New York subway. You can go into the New York subway, and if you're not familiar with what your energy is doing, you'll end up off of that thing completely exhausted. Yesterday, early on in the outlets, I'm like, oh. Because we had just done what, a 4-hour mountain hike, this, that, and the other thing, an hour and a half drive through LA traffic. And I wasn't controlling my energy. Once I drew it back in, go for it.
I mean, I had a question because earlier you said you started running energy. Mm-hmm. And so when you're talking about running energy, are these exercises all considered running energy? Or?
Yes. Okay. But now one of my favorite things to do, which is the next exercise, is literally drawing energy up from the earth, through your feet, mm-hmm. up through your tailbone, up through your spine, up and out and around. And so on today's bicycle ride, what I was doing is drawing that energy up and through myself and around, but not just in this fashion, which is how I traditionally teach it. But what I was trying to do is see how much energy can I draw in from my entire environment. And so this is kind of a very two-dimensional playing field, which is energy drawn up through the feet, up through the tailbone, up through the spine, up to the heavens, back down around. People call it circle breathing is one of the terms for it. And I'm a huge proponent of it for getting you grounded and re-energizing you. But what I was doing was Taurus breathing. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a Taurus looks like, picture a line going up and around and through, and then another one here, and then another one here, another one here, in 360-degree ball of energy, and drawing that in and through, and drawing that in and through. And that's why I finished this ride, and I looked at my heart rate, I looked at my speed on the Garmin afterwards, and my fastest few miles were my last few. After yesterday's amazing hike, and then after today's 3 hour and 40 minutes, 5,000 feet of climbing, goodness, because I was playing with that Taurus or running that energy. And so that is the last exercise that we can do here. And then I'm going to open it up to questions. Is let's do at least, maybe we walk before we run, but I want people to feel at least at a very minimum that circling of energy. We'll expand it out a little bit. This is something you can practice on your own. I want to see if you had a question first.
I did. And you don't have to answer it if you think it's going to confuse people. But when I think of a Taurus, I picture what you described, but then I also picture the energy coming in reverse.
It does go in both directions. But now we will have to blow people's minds, because technically you are 100% correct. What we are doing is we are drawing in from our feet up and out at the round. At the same time, we're drawing in from the heavens down through and around, and we are connecting both heaven and earth. Absolutely.
So that's
and it
another
becomes
video.
Well, it becomes, the best way to describe it is an infinite number of donuts going around, with the center of each donut being in the center of us.
I like the center of the donut.
So
A munchkin.
that is how to be a munchkin. Oh, Pookie, I have no idea where to go with that one. If people want, for next time, I will teach everybody how to become a munchkin. How does that sound?
Yes.
If you request it, let's start this week. And I thought about it beforehand. Let's start this week with creating the part of the Taurus from the earth first. More specifically, if all we do is get you running energy down from the feet, up and out to the heavens and back around, and you latch onto that for this week, I am really happy. Then we can take it to the next level. But this is about an awareness exercise. So with that said, so here, I had an image up. Jessica's wanting to share an image of a Taurus. I'm not sure you can.
I'm having trouble spelling it because I keep thinking of the zodiac Taurus.
Well, what I would write is Taurus sphere.
Oh, okay.
Is an easy way that you can look this up, and then you get to see the image.
Sure.
Or you can write Taurus energy sphere.
All right.
You might not need the word define there, but if you do Taurus energy sphere, there you go. And now you'll see images of people with 360 degrees of donuts. And that's what we're talking about. Drawing it in from the ground up and around, and drawing it in from the heavens. And so you get these circular spheres in both directions, continuously flowing. That's what we're talking about. But in our case, we're going to focus on one sphere or one direction first. We're still going to connect heaven to earth, but we're going to do it in the most basic fashion possible. So what I'd like you to do is put your feet on the ground if you can. If you have slippers on, if you have shoes on, slip them off if you can. This is a good time to kick back and relax. And what I want you doing is drawing in energy from your feet. Breathing in, drawing the energy up from your feet, up through your tailbone, up through your spine, up and out the top of your head. Imagine it going all the way out to the heavens. And exhale and feeling that energy come down, 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 around into the earth and back to your feet. Breathe in, draw that energy up from your feet, through your tailbone. Feel it coming up your spine. Feel it going up your neck, up out your head, up to the heavens, and exhale. Bring it down, 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 and around. Breathe in, taking it up, 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 up. Out through the top of your head to the heavens and back down around. Down to your feet. Breathe in again. Feel it coming up, up, up through your spine, up through your neck, up through and out the top of your head, through the center of your head, which is really the pineal gland, up to the heavens, and back, back, back down around. In, feel that energy drawing up from inside of you, feeling yourself getting more energized, feeling yourself growing stronger up through the top of your head, and back, back, down around. Now, if you really want to play with this, feel that energy coming up 360 degrees through your feet, up, 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 tailbone, through the spine, up through the top of your head, and feel it like a giant shower of energy coming out from all directions above you to the heavens and going in 360 degrees down, down, down to your feet. And bring it up, 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 coming up from 360 degrees direction, all of these strands of energy of light coming up through you and out in 360 degrees like a shower to the heavens and back down around. Now, if we do it next week, what we are going to do is center it in your dantian. Actually, I'm a little bit high, but centered here, all of the energy coming in from below, all the energy coming in from above, and we can spin that energy ball around. Anything you wanted to add? Okay. Shall we take some questions?
Sure.
All right. Let's do that. Lovebug has some questions too, apparently. Where? Oh, I'm on the notes. All right. Here we go. Questions. Lisa Buckner. Keep finding myself in sits with crazy neighbors that harass me, bangs on walls. I keep to myself. I'm sane. They never leave. Keep happening. Need peace. Feel safe where I live. See you repeating. Help. I feel I'm either cursed or bad karma. Where we get to start, Lisa, is throwing out the concept of cursed or bad karma. That is a very... I'm trying to figure out how to say it without judging it. This is something that Wallace Wattles had a big discussion with everybody about last week, and had an even bigger discussion with me about that harm that can come by thinking I am cursed or have bad karma. All it does is attract the very thing that you're hoping to get rid of. Think that you are blessed. Think that you have amazing energy. Think that you can attract incredible goodness, and focus on that. And that is what you will begin bringing about. It does mean, Lisa, that there's some internal healing that gets to go on, either to attract goodness or to help you in your discernment in the decisions that you make. But certainly, Lisa, love yourself up, love yourself up, love yourself up through this process. Kathy, would Michael feel his energy techniques would work for my 15-year-old daughter who wants to do the Ironman triathlon? Hugely so, Kathy. In fact, I'm not going to come up with her name. There is a Swiss triathlete many years ago, who was a many-time world champion. And what she did is she pictured herself as she was riding the bicycle as an eagle. And when the winds would blow, she would flap her wings even more. I took that to the next step, and that would have, when the winds would blow their hardest against me, I would draw that wind in and say the wind is energy, I transmute that energy and it makes me stronger. And so until we moved here to the desert, when the wind would blow, I would go out to play and say surf's up and feel stronger for it. Around here, it seems like surf's up every minute of every day. And it's a little bit harder to charge myself up for it because it's so loud.
How about I read the questions?
All right, go for it.
Okay.
Whoa, here we go.
Violet writes, is Michael's book Awe for beginners who have never journaled before? I have no idea how to start. Is it an easy book to read?
Why don't we let you answer that rather than me, because I'm particularly biased?
Yes, it's definitely a very easy read, and it's for people who have, at all levels, people who are terrible at writing, who hate writing, who failed language arts or English, people who write in other languages, and also for people who are already like poets and literary geniuses. So
the great thing about the process, thank you, is it's not coming from you. So you cannot do wrong. There is no wrong to be done. You do not have to have ever journaled. It's not journaling. I'm not teaching you how to journal. I'm teaching you how to plug into spirit and spirit to write through you. You don't have to be able to write. In fact, we talk about the neuroscience, the brain science in here from Dr. Andrew Newberg, who studied people under SPECT scans, who were, which is a brain scan, a fancy brain scan, who were amazing automatic writing practitioners. And the part of the brain responsible for writing or journaling shuts off. So no skills required at all.
I would say it might even be easier for someone who doesn't do a whole lot of writing, because if you do a lot of writing and you're used to checking your grammar and making sure that you're writing sentences with nice structures, you might get caught up in that thinking mind where we don't really want you to be thinking at all.
Yeah, I like to say it could be an overdeveloped frontal lobe. You are so good at writing that when it kicks on, you're in the thinking mode, is what you're saying. And so if you're not a writer, perfect. You don't have to worry about letting go of an old habit. Not that writing is a bad thing at all, but I would argue that the best writing comes when you're plugged into spirit.
If you don't know what automatic writing is, you can find out more at automaticwriting.com.
So, and the basics of automatic writing is it's a process where you go into a meditative state, you go quiet, you write out a few prayers, you keep that pen on the paper, you ask a few questions, and spirit begins to write for you. Tells you where you're going, what you're doing, what's going on in your life, why things took place, where you get to go, answers to really your deepest questions. And it's to say it's transformed everything in our lives is a dramatic understatement, which is why I reluctantly, I had no plans on writing this beautiful, beautiful book. But the guides of awe, you can say, chased me down along with Jessica and said, you need to write this. And so I wrote something that's step by step, super, super easy. It's why it's become, it goes back and forth, but it has become the #1 angels and spirit guide book in the world because it is so easy to use. And I can't think of anybody who wouldn't benefit from being more connected to spirit. Maybe the Dalai Lama.
Are you chilly?
No,
because I am still really hot. It's hard for me to focus.
Bookstar, go blast that cold.
I mean,
blast it.
I'm wearing cotton. I don't know why I'm so hot.
Just torch us with the cold, if that is such a thing. You've got no. Turn that down. You've got it to 70, from 74 to 72. I'm saying put it in the 60s. And there's a turbo button on that thing. Hit that turbo.
I'm just going to bring the remote with me.
All right. There you go. And when my teeth start chattering, then
I'll hold you and keep you warm.
Oh, thank you.
And you won't feel emasculated.
Oh, do you hear that?
If you heard the hooting, which you probably didn't, that's our resident roadrunner named Blue.
Who is crying outside or singing? Shall we say singing outside for more food?
Yeah. Do you want me to go feed Blue now?
I don't know what to do on that one.
Um,
Why don't we hang in there for a little bit?
Blue needs to remember how to hunt for food.
Oh,
Blue's going, ooh, ooh, ooh.
almost like an owl. Well, next question.
Okay. Also from Violet, I have a question. At times, tough times, when it feels difficult to open the heart to feel love, how then to feel the love?
Violet, that's a brilliant, brilliant question. And what I would do is first work on feeling the energy around your heart. And that can be as simple as breathing into your heart and breathing out through your heart. Into the heart and out through the heart. In and out. That's a term called heart coherence. When you start breathing in and out through the heart, your entire nervous system calms down and you get more in touch with your heart. And now we can start to take control of it. You don't have to feel love. You don't have to send love. All we're going to do is get in coherence. We'll take next question. And do you feel it is possible to feed meat in such a beautiful white dress, to feed meat to Blue?
Yes. Do you feel it's possible to feed Blue in such a beautiful blue polo?
I would be honored if you don't mind me getting past you, and we'll have you answer a question or two. How's that? How do I get out of here?
I'll do it.
No. Nope. We can't both leave here. All right. Ro Taylor, is repelling insidious as feel open and waiting and now receiving best time? I'm not sure what your question means, Ro. And so Jessica is coming back, who is going to help me interpret.
I was actually perplexed by that question too, which is why I said I'll go for
Oh, so Ro, can you give us a little more clarification? I mean, it could be that what you're saying is you're trying to push people away.
No, I mean much earlier in the talk, we talked about how what we are trying to attract, we end up repelling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think.
But is insidious is where I'm confused by the meaning there in terms of repelling. Like, is it a bad thing to repel, or is that mean that it is inherent, that we are always...
That we can't help but repel, perhaps.
Yeah. And I don't think our natural state is repelling. I think kids can attract just about anything at any time they want. I think repelling is a fear-based operation.
You know who's good at attracting?
Who?
Rue.
There is
Rue
no better
attractor
magnet. Now, Rue would say that you guys need to listen better as to what I am calling in. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. As feel open to and waiting and now receiving.
I feel open to and waiting for and now receiving best time. That's where I think I'm going to need a little bit more clarification from Ro.
Maybe we'll get some clarification. In the meantime, we'll go to the next question. Arlene writes, I live next door to my mother-in-law who lives with my sister-in-law. Mom has Parkinson's, can't be alone. They're full-time while sister-in-law works. Depressing me, I feel stuck. What to do?
So Arlene, my best guess is we need a clear delineation between you and family, between you and mother-in-law, between you and sister-in-law, between you and mom. So even though you say you can't be alone, we get to find a way, even if it's just stepping outside for short walks. We need to get to find a way to separate your energy. Certainly, I would work on drawing that ball inward. But I would also look at sometimes, because the oxygen mask has to come down on you first before you help others, of literally stepping outside of this situation, even if for little bits and times. And I know you have something to add.
Just that whenever I feel stuck, I question the limit. I question all of my assumptions. If I was in this situation, I might have the assumption that maybe hiring a nurse to come by isn't within the budget. And I would challenge that assumption. I'd actually make some phone calls and find out what the actual cost is. And maybe there's even insurance, and really find out, do some investigating. And you might determine that, yeah, I can't, or all of us together can't afford it. Or you might find that it is something that's reasonable. But just make a list of all your assumptions that could possibly change.
I love that. In fact, when we're doing something, and in the past, I haven't heard you say in this home, in the past, if I said blah, 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 you would go, limiting belief. And you would say, wait, challenge every single, you really think that's the case? Maybe it's not. You really think the other thing? Maybe it's not.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Danny writes, when someone has decided and is very clear what one wants, how do we manifest these things in the physical? Example, houses or lovers.
That's a great question, Mr. Danny. And when you're very clear, and this is where our Wednesday night classes are so powerful. You want to bring it to a special state. I call it going into something called the space capsule, which is your creation, your place of creation, your sacred place of intention, your sacred place of drawing in or drawing yourself toward what always exists, and spending time in this creative state each and every day. So important, helpful to actually have a set time each and every day to go into this creation space and play. Feeling state trumps idea any day. So for instance, if you're talking about a house, how do you want the house to feel? If you're talking about a lover or a partner, how do you want the relationship to feel? And that is what you want more than the exact specifics. Exact specifics are not bad. I had a list on my I don't know if you call it coffee table, nightstand, on my nightstand before I met Jessica, of what I was hoping to attract in or draw toward. And I got almost everything on the list. But the most important thing was the feeling state. So we want to play in that feeling state daily. Come join us for the Science of Getting Rich. It's really the Science of Being Great, which is Wallace Wattles' other book. $7 for 4 classes in a row, plus you get the entire Neville Goddard collection, the Napoleon Hill collection, and Florence Scovel Shinn, and that will teach you so much. $7 for those 4 classes. It's $28 to continue. I like to say, if you don't feel you can afford $7, then you need to take this class. But that can help you tremendously in learning these techniques for manifestation.
Next question.
Yes.
From Anne. Meditating on your heart tugs. This may awaken us to know the answer.
It is a great idea, Anne, to feel into what is pulling on your heart and really pull on that string and see where it's coming from. And oftentimes it's not at all what we feel it is. So a sense of freedom may not actually be a sense of freedom. It may be a desire for adventure, for instance. So we get to pull on that string. You look like you have something to add.
No, I'm just noticing I'm much happier with the cooler temperature. And I'm thinking, why didn't I do something about that sooner?
And the reason was you were concerned that I would be too cold.
Yes.
So
something I get to remember, oxygen mask on me first.
Has to be. And I am feeling a little bit better now that, thank you so much, our Roadrunner Blue has been fed. Now, why is blue called blue?
Why is blue called blue?
So because all Roadrunners have a stripe coming back from behind their eyes that can either where you will see up against their skin, or maybe it's the feathers up against their skull rather than their outer gray feathers.
Yeah.
And so for most of the road runners that visit us, they have a white stripe that goes to orange back here. And the orange is usually hidden except for different emotions where the feathers open up and you see that little bit of orange.
Yeah.
With blue, it starts with a bunch of blue up here and rarely opens up all the way to where you see the orange in the back. Usually blue just stays blue.
All right. Where were we? And someone did ask what's going to happen to blue when we leave. And we just had this conversation today. Michael was like, do we fatten blue up until we leave?
Now we know that blue is bringing food back home for little ones.
And I yes, but still, I believe we decided that we were going to slowly wean blue off, and blue still knows how to hunt because I've seen blue take down a bird. I didn't even know roadrunners ate birds, but blue still's got
skills.
Yeah.
So, and really the biggest challenge will not be, I don't believe, blue remembering how to hunt, but my heart in giving blue less. I'll work on it.
Yeah. Okay. From Maura, sorry to bother you, but can you speak of how to stay at higher vibrations while around toxic people?
That is a beautiful question, Maura. And just by the nature of the question, you are an empath. So I want you reading multiple books. I want you reading from Dr. Christian Northrup. I want you reading about energy vampires, first and foremost. And then from Anita Morjani, her latest book is...
Sensitive is the New Strong.
I want you reading both of those books, Maura, and I think that is the perfect place to start. We can work on drawing that energy inward, but we get to learn how not to do the dance around toxic people, which means really to put up boundaries. So really, Maura, what we need to do is get you strong as a mother. I would love it if I could literally get you to the gym more. I would love it if I could literally get you pumping weights. I could love it if I can have you feeling strong inside of your body, which will then help you to set boundaries for your external environment as well.
Next question from Collective Evolution.
Yes.
A few people have called me the dog whisperer lately.
Cool.
Their dogs are drawn to and relax around me. I meditate often and love all animals. Is this an example of running energy?
In a sense, it is, because what you are doing is your energy is either put out there to where you are able to hear the animals, or your energy is put out there to where the animals can feel it. Conversely, what I have learned is that animals are drawn to people who hold great energy, and that certain animals are more sensitive to others. So in our case, if I am not careful about my energy, what happens with Ruru?
He goes berserk.
I say he loses his schnizzle and completely falls apart. And so we really get to watch our energy around animals. But when they're attracted to you, it means you are doing great, wondrous things with your energy.
Also, we found in our experience that the more we spend time with a certain species of animal, the more that same species becomes attracted to us, because our love for the birds or our love for the rodents, it stays in our field. And then the other animals pick up on that. And
that was something that I believe Megan Sisk, who's an amazing animal communicator herself, mentioned like a year ago to us when we were going to go travel, or 9 months ago, said, and we're like, but we're going to be leaving the squirrels behind, and we're going to be leaving the mice behind, and we're going to be leaving the chipmunks behind. And what did she say?
I don't recall.
She said they'd find us.
Oh.
Have the chipmunk, squirrels, not as much, maybe the mice. We've tried to keep that under control. And every other animal. We are in the desert, but our home is like an oasis of continuous chirping and singing and dancing of all the animals, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and when we landed here in the spot, we contacted Megan again, actually, to have a session about Ruru, the rooster. And she said that when we arrived here, all the animals in the area got really excited, and they all thought that we were here for good, that we were going to be setting up, our home here.
And so you actually have outside the front door, you may have brought it into Grace the RV, our bird feeders, our traveling bird feeders. I can just see them flapping down the highway going, wait!
Aww.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Okay. Next question from, where was I? Lit us. How should energy feel if it's controlled? How does it feel to have good energy?
So it's not so much that you feel like you are controlling energy as much you feel as you are in control. When your energy is barfed out all around you, you feel spun. That is really, to me, the technical term. You feel out of your body, out of control. The whole world is out of control. Whoa. And when you are taking control of your energy, you feel grounded. You feel like you're not being blown about in the wind. As far as go ahead.
You've often used the visualization of the eye of a storm,
which is actually the center of a Taurus. Exactly. You become the eye of the storm. How does it feel to have good energy? Well, everyone inherently has good energy. It's just a matter of making that energy more coherent, or in control, or connected well to that energy. Because at the end of the day, there's both nothing that's good and nothing that's bad, but there is things that is in a higher level of organization and things that are in a lower level of organization. And universe, consciousness, always seeks a higher level of organization because that organization feels better. And then it feels better. And then it feels better. And so we're just seeking what is inherent within us and feels better.
Sorry.
Go for it.
I was just going to say that during this live event, I at times feel anxious and uncomfortable because I'm not usually on camera. I'm not on camera a whole lot. And I'm constantly coming back, bringing my energy back to center to feel grounded and sort of to remind myself, it's okay. Everything's good.
I like it.
And then kind of like, the energy will start like fluttering a little bit again. And then I come back. And the other thing I was going to say is it comes with practice. At first, you'll go through a whole day. And then at the end of the day, you go, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to like check in and feel what my energy was like. But over time, you start checking once a day, and then maybe it's twice a day. And then eventually it's like all the time.
That's where the fun happens, because there you're more in control in a co-creation. We never are fully, go ahead.
And don't kick yourself if you forget.
Thank you. Thank you. So I do get to ask, I want to be respectful that we're working to keep these to 90 minutes.
Yes.
We started at 5:35. So we have been going.
We have 5 more questions. Do you want to do a speed round where I set a timer and
as best as you can,
really nervous and uncomfortable?
And then let's leave us. We have 14 minutes now. How many minutes do you want to leave us for a meditation?
5.
Okay. Sounds good. Speed round. Fasten my seatbelt.
Okay. Amanda, how can you say your intentions for manifesting what you want, but then let go and not obsess over it? I feel like I'm giving out energy that's really not here, and I feel all this fear and resistance.
So, Amanda, it's a great question. So what we do is we feel into our hearts what we desire, and we start to play with that, and we let go of it. This doesn't mean that you can't work in your space capsule on doing the work every single day, but without attachment to a particular outcome, because we never know what's best. For instance, with the RV, we wanted this truck that was in the 18-wheeler kind of truck, Freightliner in Indiana, told it's the best. And we're doing our manifestation work, and it's not feeling right. It's not feeling good. So we let it go and see what chases us down. That's called the flow line. That's where you want to play. It's also something that we're teaching, but let it go, and let it go. So in other words, you put it out there, you feel into it, let it go. Put it out there, feel into it, let it go. Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you. How does it get any better than this? Lisa Buckner just made a kind donation. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Collective evolution.
I've learned a practice of creating an energy ball of source energy large enough to surround my auric field to shield from negative energy. What are your thoughts on this? Awesome.
Good job.
Do you have any other thoughts?
Keep up the good work. But I would also learn how to there's a term I use called the open-hearted warrior. And the open-hearted warrior means to drop shields and feel into everything.
I was going to say, you're allowing the energy to come in so you can transmute it and send it back out.
Bingo.
As positive energy.
Next step.
From Josh Taylor. I astral project almost at will, and my manifestation is always happening along with much more. Am I normal?
So you are above normal is what I would say. So there is no, it's interesting. We went to a Buddhist meditation center and I said, I like to put myself on top of the room and look down at the room. And the meditation teacher said, stop that. Promise you'll never do that again. I'm like, but it's fun. So if you can astral project at will, why not? Now, I would certainly look at where my energy is going. The better control you have over your energy, the more positive circumstances will say, but this is awesome. Play with it, play with it, play with it. Life is about playing with energy.
Okay, from Rita. I would like to ask Michael when I can identify the angels are talking to me or it's my ego.
So Rita, what you're probably referring to is an automatic writing. And the first thing I would do is if you are getting, if it seems like you're getting angels speaking to you or guides speaking to you, is feel into it. What does it feel like? Ego. We are always afraid, well, I was when I started automatic writing, that I was getting great words of wisdom and I thought, well, I'm making this up. Your ego doesn't make good stuff up. It makes up shoulda, woulda, coulda, and you're garbage and you're a piece of junk and this, that, and the other thing. When it's telling you how great you are, odds are that's not actually an egoic thing. That has a thread of truth. Now, you can certainly, in automatic writing, we have a whole troubleshooting section on this, and we have live classes on this as well, automaticwriting.com. But you can literally ask in automatic writing, and apparently the ego has to answer, which is kind of cool. Is this coming from my angels or guides, or is this coming from my ego? And if it's coming from the ego, your ego will let you know. Next question.
I'm not sure if Lisa had a question. She wrote, I end up in sits where I have crazy neighbors that harass me, bang on my walls, keep me from living in peace. I live by myself. This isn't coincidence. Been through a lot in life. I see repeating numbers. I just want peace. Help.
This is the question that she asked earlier. However, let's add to it the I see repeating numbers. Lisa, repeating numbers is a sign that your angels are always around you and are wanting to help. So when the numbers come up, I would kind of stop, drop, and ask. Angels are always wanting to help, and they're frustrated that we don't ask for help. So you see 333, 444, 111, whatever it is a reminder. Angels are by your side. And for you, Lisa, to say, all right, angels, help bring me more peace. Or angels, I give this sense of nuttiness. I give this negative energy to you. I cast my burden to you. Please take this and help me transmute this into something even more positive, peaceful, and loving.
I wonder if the question is about, she says, been through a lot in life. Is this a reoccurring experience?
That's what it sounds like. And that's what I was getting out of the question earlier. Oh. And so to me, that means there's some clearing work that gets to be done. There's some energy work that we get to play with. Discernment and boundaries become an important piece. And we get to turn Lisa into an energy ninja, basically, to look at the world differently for every decision coming up. And then, if this continues, to look at how can we move to a new location after we've played with our energy, after we've connected more to the angels, and asking them for the discernment and the guidance to help find a more peaceful place.
From Moss.
Yes.
What is the benefit of practicing the Taurus energy thing?
Peace, love, higher level of energy, more coherent energy, which means higher level thinking. It means being continuously connected to the universe. It means less dis-ease. It means more peace. In other words, when you are moving like a Taurus, and you can, not a tortoise, a Taurus, when you're moving like a Taurus, and you can literally actually practice this with your DNA as well, something that Carolyn Corey in an upcoming interview shares about, how you can turn a double helix into an actual Taurus, which is the coolest thing in the world. It changes every bit about how you navigate in and of this world. And it will certainly give you much more energy and peace. Is that the last question for tonight?
Yes.
Did we get through all of them?
Well, one new question just popped up.
All right. How are we doing time-wise? Let's go for it, and let's call it good.
Okay.
I did see something from Lisa about moving is not an option. Then we play the internal game. We become, Lisa, an internal tai chi master. That's where you get to play. And when that happens, understand that you are being set up to learn awesome lessons for your highest good, the highest good of all. The universe is always setting us up. Once we can recognize it, we can lean into it and go, all right, angels, you got me in this place. You're going to help me through this experience. Last question.
Last question from Natasha.
Yes.
I have a very hard time staying positive often enough. How do you guys seem to have such an easy time with it? I feel like a bad light worker.
Are we always positive?
No.
No. Do we kick ourselves for not always being positive?
No.
Are we bad light workers because we're not any positive?
No.
Are we any better than Natasha?
No.
No. Love yourself up. This is a journey. This is an adventure. This is a time where we trip and fall and dust ourselves off. And we're all going to go, again, maybe not the Dalai Lama, up and down and up and down. And that is the game. And yes, we can work to be more in that positive state, not out of a panacea or pushing away of other things, but actually a leaning into and learning through and from them. But understand, I like playing with energy. And that's what we're talking about here tonight. If you talk about electricity coming into your computer right here, what it is a flipping current of positive, negative, creating an electron pump. Every cell works this way in your body. Every neuron works this way. Every thought that you have is transmitted by a pumping of electricity of negative and positive. So if we just stayed in the positive, we'd be dead. Literally. It is the pump or the flipping back and forth that brings life. So we don't judge one, we don't judge the other. What we try to do is make it more coherent, more smooth, more controlled, more refined. That's how we play the game. Last question. Is Meek and Sisk a good medium? Amazing. Do you have the link for how people can contact Meek and Sisk?
I think it's soulspeaks.biz.
Is there a Z in there someplace?
.biz.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So let's do just a few minute meditation here. What I'd like everybody to do, and thank you so much for joining us, and come join us Wednesday for our Manifestation Mastery Circle. There goes the Pook Star. She's having me get centered here. for just a few minute meditation. So glad everybody could join us here tonight. Can't wait to see everybody Wednesday. Oh, Tuesday night. What is Tuesday night at the same time?
Interview premiere.
An interview premiere?
Josh Linkner.
Ooh, creativity.
Yes.
That is a really cool one. If you want to learn how to make your life more of a living work of art, then you need to come check out Tuesday night's interview with Josh Linkner. It is a really, really special one. And Southern Comfort makes an appearance. And I believe Mick Crush makes an appearance as well in that one, because I did what I could to make it one of my most...
You always have to clarify.
Southern Comfort is our puppet squirrel, but he has his own real personality. Mick Crush is our puppet turtle, who also tortoise. He wouldn't say turtle, who also has his own personality as well. And so both of them make an appearance as I was working to have kind of a hyper creative interview. All right. So with that said, let's sit up good and tall, but relaxed. Breathe in through the nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. In through the nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. In and out. Now, as you continue to breathe in and out, I want you to imagine a giant circle of everybody here who's watching in the past, who's watching present, who's watching in the future, all connecting hands. And we are going to simply practice a couple minutes of heart coherence, breathing together, or linking with the energy of our hearts. So breathe into your heart. Imagine the air going into your heart and out through the heart. Into the heart and out through the heart. In and out. Now, as I go quiet, I want you to take just a minute or two to imagine breathing in and out through the heart. And it could be that you take a count. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Into the heart. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. And as you continue to count, continue to breathe, see how your heart feels. And feel how light it gets. If it helps, put a hand or two on your heart and keep breathing into that count of 4 and out through the heart to that count of 4. Imagine the air going into the heart and out through the heart. And as you keep doing this for about another minute, I want you to imprint one word on your heart for you and for everyone here, past, present, and future. And that word is peace. So breathe in peace to your heart and out peace through your heart. The heart controls the mind. When you breathe in and out through the heart and bring yourself to peace, you'll feel calmer, you'll feel more at ease, and everything about your day will change. So feel free to keep breathing in and out peace through the heart as long as you would like. And we love you guys so, 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 so much. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. We can't wait to see you for the premiere on Tuesday and for our Manifestation Mastery class on Wednesday. And keep on shining bright. Woohoo! Love you guys.
Good.